Governor Sam Brownback has just finished presenting his legislative agenda during his annual State of the State address. KSNT News' Kaitlin Berry joins us now from the State House with a breakdown of the governor's remarks. Kaitlin?
Yeah, Brooke, I'm here right outside the House chambers where, as you can see, the governor has just finished up giving his annual State of the State address, and I'm joined here with political analyst Bob Beatty. Bob, what sticks out to you the most about the governor's address this year?
Well, it's clearly a presidential election year. In this address, Governor Brownback had negative comments related to President Obama. I cited 15 different instances in this speech, so that was a little bit surprising.
Okay, the governor also called for several changes during the course of his speech. Which of those stands out to you? What do you think will happen there?
Yeah, well, like previous years, the governor wants to change the way that Supreme Court judges are selected. He also wouldn't mind seeing more anti-abortion laws, and as I just mentioned, he also talked about fighting the transfer of Guantanamo prisoners to the state of Kansas.
Well, all those things were mentioned. There were several things that weren't mentioned in the course of his speech. What do you think of those?
Well, you know, there is some budget difficulties in the state of Kansas. Some estimates put $170 million that Kansas needs to find over the next 2 fiscal years. That was not mentioned at all. Now, some people do want to see Medicaid expanded in the state of Kansas. He did say in his speech that he did not want to see that happen, so maybe he really closed the door on that issue.
Okay, a couple other things that were mentioned. Planned Parenthood.
That's right. Again, a big election year issue. Governor Brownback said he did not want to see any state money going toward Planned Parenthood and would like to see the legislature enact a law to make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay, and a big one, education. He touched on that briefly.
Right, very briefly. That's going to be a big thing over the next couple of years. What he did argue for is more money to teachers rather than buildings and infrastructure. So the legislature needs to get to work on crafting a new funding bill for education in Kansas.
Okay, so a lot of issues there, but we'll have even more analysis and reaction from lawmakers coming up tonight at 10. We'll send it back to you, Brooke, live at the State House. Kaitlin Berry, KSNT News.
Thank you, Kaitlin. And as she mentioned, coming up tonight at 10, Bob Beatty will be back here with a more in-depth look at the governor's speech as well as reaction from Kansas lawmakers.